It's typical flyback Fridays here. Some more patients are still coming based on their travels and flight times, but you all are welcome to share your experience. None of you are ordinary cases, none of you are people who walked across the street. You all are here again from all over the world. It's the day after surgery, and you all can share your stories. Please, no incentive, there's no candies, there's no Starbucks cards for y'all. From your heart, whatever.
So
because...
what am I doing here?
Oh! She's very clear.
Been hanging around you, doctor. Been hanging around you.
An honor. A number of you have flown back for your second eye from far, far away, Sweden, Toronto, Carolinas now, right? From DC, and Jay, California, you, Minnesota. Always a pleasure because y'all keep on fueling my passion. And that you're flying back for the second eye means a lot. I still have to perform, keep doing this. So you're welcome. Please share your stories. Keep it short. People don't have attention span nowadays, but I do want to keep on inspiring my profession that this is real. There's no advertising here. You'll all are come here with labels of impossible, yes? Yes. And all of you are leaving day one after surgery. How are we doing?
Great.
Right.
Any pain, anybody?
No pain.
No.
Go ahead, please. I'll stay out of your way and just be natural, be yourself, all right? Right.
So my name's David, and you hear him from the Carolinas. He sometimes says DC because I worked there many years, and I saw many corneal specialists. To your point, about going to these big cities and where the doctors like him. He doesn't exist. They don't exist. He's the guy, right? He's the GOAT, right? I met all of you just recently, but I feel like I've known all of you because we're all in the same boat. We all have this really either a major eye disorder or disease, or we've suffered with bad eyesight, or we've had problems with our corrective surgeries before in the past. And we're all here, right? In this common place. It's a common denominator. So I feel your pain. I know when I went through my first eye, I didn't know what to expect. I can tell you I was seeing at one point 20/25 out of the eye that was corrected, but it takes a while to stabilize. And this eye I came down to see how well I could do that, and I'm hoping for the best, just like before. My particular situation, not only did I have LASIK back in sometime in the 90s somewhere, yeah.
How old are you?
Huh?
You're ancient.
I'm ancient.
Told her she was hanging out with the doctor too long.
Who invited her? Who invited her? And I have high hyperopia, which means my cornea is just weird. In fact, I have Fuchs. Who has Fuchs here? Anyone have Fuchs? I didn't think so. It's a disease that actually attacks and kills off your corneal cells. So it weakens your cornea to that. I had to have stitches when I had my surgery just to shore up my cornea so he could do the lensoplasty. So we're all different, but we're the same, right? I heard all your stories and it's so similar, but again, slight variations. I wish you all nothing but success as you go through the journey. You're going to see on the other side, especially for the people with one eyes, the best is yet to come.
My name's Cynthia. I'm from El Paso, Texas, and this is my husband Jeff, and he's my support system. So back in the 90s, that's when I had RK done. It worked for about 15 years, and then shortly after, my vision started fluctuating. I had gone to just a regular eye doctor, and then they would give me prescription lenses. But back in that time, it would take about 2 weeks for you to get your glasses. And then when I would get them, the vision was totally off. And then I would go back for a supposed tweak. And I would wait again for my new pair of glasses. And then when I would get them, they were totally off again. And after multiple times, they were all off. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? So I decided to go ahead and go back to the original doctor that had done the surgery, the RK. And by then he had already seen a lot of his patients. And when I asked him, I said, what else could I do? This is what's going on, And then he tells me, oh, there's nothing, whatever you're experiencing, that's normal. That's what all the arcade patients are experiencing. All you have to do is just get readers of different numbers, and whenever one doesn't work, then, you know, just reach out for the other. That was his explanation, and his like quick fix. So then I went to go see another doctor, and he prescribed the scleral lenses. And so I did that. I used them for quite a while, well, several years. And then later on, I asked the doctor, well, how does my future look as far as my eyesight? What am I gonna do? What could I do? And he says, there's nothing else you can do. And then my husband would ask, there's no one here in the world that you know that can go ahead and fix it? And he says, no. So I was basically gonna be stuck with scleral lenses till I was 80, 90.
You know, he did mention you would have to have a cornea transplant done.
Oh, man.
And he kind of got a little bothered when I asked him, because he said, there's nobody, you know, that you know of. You go to these conferences and you hear of other doctors, and nobody out there? No. I said, well, it's kind of unacceptable. So that's when we kind of started doing research to find a solution or an option. And Cynthia, one day I came in the car and she said, you know what, I think I found the doctor. And she had looked up Dr. Gulani, and we did more research, and then just, you know, continue the process to eventually get here. Like all of you, traveled from far away to come to find a doctor that from day one, when you walk in this place, I had never been to a doctor's office where the doctor comes out to greet you and to say hello. And this whole week has just been an incredible experience for me, and then also for my wife to be able to have now the ability to get her vision corrected where there has been no other hope. And it's just, it's hard, you know, to even describe this experience. And I encourage other people that have conditions that they think that, or they've been told that nothing can happen or nothing can be done. This is the place to come for those answers, to get it corrected.
All right, so my name is Jay Totino. I was diagnosed with, Michelle, you can correct me if I say it wrong, I do keratoconus in California. And then unfortunately, like I said, that doctor in California actually did recommend me to come here. He actually do Dr. Gulani. So that worked out really good. So my first surgery was a structural surgery. And then this surgery that I just had now, what's the name of it? Tell me again. I say it wrong.
Lensoplasty.
Thank you. There you go. A little help from the audience. So just had that one. So yeah, just basically, so this is my second time being here. But for everybody that's listening and watching, that's skeptical, like I was myself, like everybody in this room, but this doctor will fight for your vision. And it's very sad that, you know, that nobody else, you know, from California all the way to New York, where I'm originally from, will fight for a vision, but Gulani Vision. I'm very thankful to have him as a doctor. This is my good friend Kathy that flew all the way from California to be here with me. So I want to say very thankful for her, because without her, it'd be very struggled going through this by myself. But the last thing I want to say is, you know, just thank you to Dr. Gulani and the staff, because everybody, you come here as a patient and you leave as family. And I'd be lost without everybody. So thank you very much.
True.
Do you want to say anything, Kathy? Sorry.
I'm Kathy, and here with Jay, and I just am very impressed with the whole facility, and it's really a great facility. I would recommend it to anybody.
I'm June Larson. I'm from Minnesota, and I have extreme nearsightedness and extreme keratoconus and astigmatism. And I kind of am doing the reverse. I started with the lensoplasty, and I will eventually have the structural and the laserplasty. We're all similar but different, and there's different approaches. And I mean, that's one of the things I want to point out. He is going to do what he thinks it should be done and what order it should be done for you. But I have not been able to, I got glasses when I was in 5th grade, and I have not been able to see well for a good 25, 30 years. And my best case scenario was wearing rigid contacts, and I could only see 20/80 and 20/60, and that was my best. If my eyes were dry, I didn't see that even. And glasses don't work typically with keratoconus, so my glasses, I couldn't see that as well, and I was also distortion. And so when I knew I was going to need cataract surgery, my surgeon back in Minnesota told me that, and you'd have to go some time without your contacts, which meant I could not function, I could not drive, all that stuff, and I was overwhelmed by this possibility. But I had searched all over. I saw different doctors around the country, and I found Dr. Galani, and it was like, I need to go to him. But I was overwhelmed with going to Florida, and I'm overwhelmed with this process and what it could be just where I live. And I started with my own doctor thinking I can't handle coming here, and went with my doctor, and they said within 2 months you should be able to have surgery. Well, they were like, in 3 months, your eyes are not ready yet. And I just thought, okay. And I brought up Dr. Galani to them in Florida, and they were, my surgeon actually, his eyes lit up like, yes, you're a once in a lifetime patient for me. Go get the best care you can. And so then I felt more at peace about starting this process. And we knew that I wouldn't get good vision with the first procedures. I'm on my second eye, and it's so much better knowing that this is the worst case scenario. If I still have to wear contacts, if they fall out or pop out, I could see this good. You know, I went swimming the other day, and typically when I'd swim, I'd be like, I'm worrying about my contacts falling out and not be able to see anything, or the water hitting them would make my contact go up and around my eye, and it's painful. So I just haven't really swam for 30 years. And I was in the water and I'm swimming going, this is fun. I have missed out on this all these years, and I have 15 grandkids. I'm excited. And even with the vision I have, it's like I can find the ladder, I can find my chairs, my husband, where the towel is. I could do all that, and I'm just thrilled with, and this is just a little thing, you know, and I'm like excited for what I'm gonna get to experience now. So, but we'll be back for the next procedure, and hopefully, we don't know how much better I'll get, but it will be better even yet. So I'm excited. This is my husband, Nolan.
So my name is Zola. I come from Johannesburg, South Africa. Yes, and I've been having like visual issues since like the beginning of my 20s. I don't know. At some point I thought the visual issues was like COVID and stuff. Like I didn't know where it was coming from, in the sense like it really, and my vision would fluctuate. Like it would just be like blurry, and I didn't know the reason why. So I think I had keratoconus at that time, but I think the minute the scar tissue on the cornea started to develop, that's when vision started. I really started to see a decline in vision. Yeah. So as soon as the scar tissue developed, that's when the vision started to get really bad. Yeah. So now I'm 27 and I'm at like severe, like advanced keratoconus, where it's so bad that so I've had to have a structural surgery with Gulani. So he's had to shave off the layer and put new cells basically. But it's quite a good. I actually saw the diagram, a picture of how he did it, and it looks perfect. It's like a star, as he said, like how he puts everything together. So I now have to wait, like maybe, I think within 4 months it will probably heal, and then within 6 months then I'm a candidate for like the visual surgery. So I can do those visual surgeries, and hopefully I can get up to maybe 2025, hopefully 2020. That's what I'm thinking.
I keep saying to him that I'm looking forward to him being able to see the mess in his room.
Finally, right?
Finally.
It was quite impressive. We went to like 4 different eye doctors.
Yeah, they all said that I needed a penetrating care, full thickness transplant.
That's right.
Yeah,
Went to 2 doctors right, in South Africa.
yeah, in South Africa
And
actually
2
I've
in
seen
Dubai,
5. Yeah,
Middle East.
I've already seen 5 different doctors in South Africa. They've all said I need a penetrating keratoplasty, that full thickness transplant. Yeah, and I thought it was risky because I thought if I do that, I'll just go completely blind. I will go completely blind if I had a surgery there. So, like, at least I'm hopefully I'm so happy that I'm not blind. I can still see out. So the eye that I did the surgery, I can see exceptionally out of already. Yeah, so.
And he did the research himself. He found Dr. Gulani. We didn't.
Really?
We didn't know where to go.
Well,
Because
Yeah.
and he phoned me. He says, I found this doctor in, I think you said he had 2.
Yeah.
It was the Gulani in Jacksonville and someone else. I can't remember.
Yeah, and basically, I thought that, see, Gulani actually focuses on your vision, but this guy gets you to vision, like you can actually see. So,
Mom just hopes now you can focus on your room like you found it.
Yeah.
My name is Alberto Aponte, and I live in Georgia, so I came from Georgia, and like most people with RK have complications after having that type of surgery, and lived many years with those complications, and so I decided to research and see what can be done. And after having RK surgery, you have to research and ask a lot of questions and make sure that you make the right decision, because you've already have complications. You don't want to make it worse. So that's what I did. I went out and I started looking for doctors that I can, that can help me. And I narrowed it down to 2 doctors. And so I started asking them questions. And, when you ask questions and you research people, you can get to know them pretty quickly by what they answer. And the other doctor, he could only do certain things. And he wasn't able to take care of all the things that I needed. But Dr. Gulani, he was able to do the things that I needed to be done, and I felt confident that if there was any type of complications that he would be the best one to take care of that for me. So I recommend that anybody who's who needs to get something done with their eyes, corrections, complications that they have, to do your research, to ask questions, and make the right decision. And you will probably end up here in Gulani Vision.
My name is Anna Maria. I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I've always had myopia, astigmatism issues, and then it just got worse to the point where my glasses were really, really thick. I had RK when I was about 21, and I'm 60 now, so it gives you an idea of the time frame. And then when I was about in my 30s, I started having issues. I was a banker, and I couldn't see the screens. So they told me because of the RK, I had all these scars. I went to scrape the scars off. However, in your eye, normally if you take off a scar, it's not supposed to grow back. There's 3% of the population that grows back. I'm part of that 3%. So every 6 months, scarring, removed, until they couldn't remove it anymore. And then they couldn't do anything unless it was a cornea transplant. When I went to see the surgeon, he said because I also have an autoimmune, that it was recommended to not do the cornea transplant because they only give you 3 chances per eye. If you reject all 3, you're completely blind, and I still had some vision, so I wasn't going to take that chance. Going forward, 2019, I found out about Dr. Gulani. Basically had been a struggle up until 2009 when I had to decide that I had to early retire. Then 10 years later, I find Dr. Gulani. I do a consult. It sounds promising. COVID happens, so that stops. And then I wait until all the COVID thing is finished and finally came to see him last year. Both of my eyes were not measurable, so I couldn't even see the E. Now I could see the E. This eye, which was the worst eye, is at 20/150. However, next year I'm going to come back and do the laser plastique in hopes that he believes that there's more vision under there. So I just got to give it more time. And so now I came back to do the lensoplastique. It was very successful. So far I can see everybody here, you know, I can see you're a man, you're a woman, before I could see any of that. So that's my story. And yeah, I mean, I agree with this gentleman who was talking that even if you have to pay out of pocket, because as most of you probably know, in Canada, everything's covered for us. We're pretty lucky like that. However, there's nothing like this. They could have done a cataract, but I wouldn't have, or a cataract surgery rather, and I wouldn't have had the outcome that I have now, that much I know. So yeah, so thank God I'm a banker. I did all right, so.
Get better.
Okay, Michael, I'm from Sweden, so I'm gonna be short. But this is my second time in here. I have done, I'm here for I had done an AK operation in Sweden 2005, and it didn't go so well. And I went to a lot of doctors in Sweden, and they said, we can do nothing about it. We don't think it's a problem. You can't feel, you haven't the problem. It has to be in your brain, they said. So they sent me to a psychologist and say, they can help you. And so I don't think so, but let's do a try. But there was no help. So I start to Google and search for good doctors, and then I come here and for 2 years ago, I was doing my first eye, left eye, to correct the vision and the pain I had. And it went very good. And before I come here, I was thinking about how should I work rest of my life with such a pain, and I couldn't sit behind a computer, and it was tough because I'm working in anesthesia and putting a patient to sleep, and there's lots of lights, and I have a lot of pain. So then after the operation, it was great, and I could work with no pain. So now I'm here for a second. So in Sweden they have no knowledge about it. So here they have knowledge. So I want to thank Dr. Gulani and the team, of course, the whole team. You are beautiful, wonderful people. So thank you very, very much.
You're farsighted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know if any of us had that, but
No.
so he does so many different.
Yeah, exactly.
He helps everybody, you know.
How was it, guys? Did y'all share your story?
Yes.
Yes? And again, please be careful. Your flights back home, make sure you're using your drops on time, resting, right? Excellent.